gone unnoticed by law enforcement had it not been for this cell phone video. Arbery was shot to death after being chased by 3 white men while out on a jog. Travis McMichael, his father Gregory McMichael, and William Roddy Bryan were all charged with felony murder. Videos like these are helping to bring some measure of justice to injustices fueled by racism. Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms agrees.
I think had we not seen that video, I don't believe that they would be charged, and it's heartbreaking. It's 2020, and this was a lynching of an African American man.
TV anchor Julie Grant joins us now. Julie, thank you for that story and your reporting. As a former prosecutor and having covered cases like Florida versus Draca, how does video evidence get treated in court that may perhaps surprise the public?
It's so great to be with you, Julia. Thank you for having me. We heard that saying, a picture is worth 1,000 words, right? Well, in a court of law, video is worth even more. It is a critical piece of evidence. And the issue really becomes just authentication. If one side or another can authenticate it, showing that it is what it purports to be, then it comes in, and then the jury can consider that evidence. And we're not reliant on just statements from individuals who might have been there. We have a clearer picture of what occurred, and that picture can't be altered in any way. So really, video evidence, at the end of the day, it helps with equal protection, right? 14th Amendment has all citizens in our country enjoying equal protection under the laws, and having that evidence and furtherances in technology helps with that. The laws must be applied equally to everyone.
Julie, you keep saying it, equal. That is the key word. Thank you so much. We're going to turn now to our special guests who are standing by. Attorney David Otunga is still with us, and joining us now is Elsong Richardson, Dean and Chancellor of the University of California, Irving Law School. Thank you so much for being here. I know you've done extensive search on how people make judgments in different contexts and implicit bias. Can you explain and expound how that relates to what we are seeing?
Absolutely. So first, to understand unconscious bias, we need to understand a little bit about how our brains work. Our minds, in order to conserve energy, they make quick, automatic, and unconscious associations in response to a stimulus. So our brains are efficient information processors. So if you're sitting in a chair, you probably don't even think twice about the strange object that you're sitting on. Our brains do the same thing with regard to people. So in our society where racism existed for centuries, our brains have learned to associate certain categories with certain attitudes and stereotypes. And in our country, we have learned, our brains have learned, to associate blackness with criminality and danger, and whiteness with innocence. And the importance of understanding these unconscious associations is that we are impacted by them. Our perceptions, our behaviors, our judgments are impacted by these unconscious biases, these unconscious associations that our brains make that may conflict with our consciously and deeply held egalitarian beliefs. So that's what makes these unconscious biases so very pernicious.
You're using the word unconscious there, some conscious sometimes. Does that mean people can't overcome it and they can't help it?
So you can't, so I'll answer that in two ways. It is unsurprising, because we've grown up in this racist society, that our brains have learned these associations. But because we practice them so much, by reading the news, watching TV, they become unconscious, and we are not aware of them. So what we need to do is to create safeguards for us so that we don't act on them, right? That is the important piece. Put structures in place within your workplaces, within your lives, so that even though these unconscious biases exist, you can hopefully safeguard yourself and safeguard victims of your unconscious biases from having to suffer the consequences of your actions. So there are ways.
Thank you so much for joining us. We have to get to a break, but we appreciate you being with us today. Coming up, it's almost been 30 years since Rodney King's beating opened Americans' eyes to police brutality.